Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard the tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Gosh, man. They say there's a sucker born every minute. A woman in England fell for a con when someone claiming to be Jason Statham started chatting her up on a Jason Statham fan page.
Steve.
Yeah.
Look, man.
Yeah.
I just realized I had access to that group page.
Yeah.
She seemed nice. A little low on the dough.
Yeah, I moved the conversations to private.
Every bald guy at some point has someone go, "You look kind of like Jason Statham." It's like, no, just bald guy.
I've never said that to you.
No,
you don't look anything like Jason Statham.
I had it happen a couple times.
Really? Somebody thinks you look like Jason Statham?
Well, clearly from the neck down, him and I have a very similar physique.
Oh, right. I forget that. I forget that, yeah. Yeah, he started flirting with her. Once she was convinced.
That's what Jason Statham does.
That's what I do.
He goes to a Jason Statham fan page and just chats it up with people.
I think you're hot. Not as hot as a rock, but you're hot. So she said, I wasn't going to give him money, but then he convinced me he was in love with me, and he did start asking her for money. Said he was having financial difficulties because of a delayed film payment. Oh, well,
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Oh,
yeah.
Man, dude, I'm just looking at some of, I guess I'm looking at some of the messages. Mm-hmm. And it's like, send me a selfie of you. I would love to get a very decent smile from your face right now. Will you love me and be the special woman beside me for the rest of your life, honey?
Oh, God.
I really need you to do this for me, honey, because I can't trust anyone but with you. And I need money, honey. And then Western Union, I guess that's where he banks. That's
a telegram.
Oh, yeah.
You can wire people money through Western Union, yeah.
Well,
you want to know how much money she wired him?
How much?
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Whoa.
She won't give us the exact figure.
She's embarrassed.
But that's a lot of dough. There's your... Wow, I don't know how old this woman is. I don't know how she had that much money in the first place, but that is a beating. Whoa. Now, she claims she was very vulnerable because her mother and fiancé had recently died, which is tragic.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that's tragic. But to give away that kind of money to anybody, oh, man.
Apparently around $25,000 in installments each time. And yeah, like you said, she handed over hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, he's worth, and the real Jason Statham is worth $70 million, so he doesn't need it. Plus, he's also married.
Well, yeah, he's got, that's a lot of, he's got bills to pay, BJ.
Yeah, he's got some bills to pay. She finally smartened up. She called the cops. They are investigating, but oh, man.
Oh, it sucks, but geez, lady, why are you so stupid? I hate to be rude.
Yeah,
but you think Jason Statham is really just going to randomly contact you on a fan page and then say, let's take this offline, and then start asking for $25,000 a pop when you know he's worth a bunch of money?
Yeah, no matter what.
Stupid.
No matter what kind of grief state you're in, or how vulnerable you are, $25,000 a pop you're just firing off to this guy. So basically, someone's got to explain that to me, because it's just stupid.
At no point did you just kind of remove yourself from the situation and go, does this seem really believable? I don't know.
Maybe we just don't understand because we're dudes. I don't get it.
No, dude, I know some dudes that are pretty dumb as well. One guy was convinced. One of my old college buddies, he came to town. He was convinced. This is back in the MySpace days. Granted, not nearly this, handing over hundreds of thousands of dollars. But he's like, dude, ever since I got my hair implants, man, the women just love me. And I was like, oh, because that's why he was in town. I guess he was like one of the best doctors for hair implants, right? So he was back for a follow-up or something. I don't know. So I'm just like, oh, no way, man. Like, what's going on? Because I want to live vicariously through your stories.
Sure.
And this is in the MySpace days. He goes, man, all these hot chicks on MySpace have just been messaging me recently. And he shows up. I'm like, dude, those are all spam. It's all fake. He's like, no. He's like, you don't get it, man, because you don't have hair.
Oh, here we go.
Like he legit bald shamed me. But he believed that these chicks were real. I'm like, man, good luck to you then.
Yeah.
Have fun with those.
Yeah. Oh, man. See, if you got to start paying a lot of money to somebody for that should be the red flag. I hope for people, no matter what state you're in, nobody should be asking you for money that you haven't even met.
One text says, can we acknowledge this guy's hustle? Come on, that's a come up. That is a good one. Who would have thought Jason Statham would work and you can get hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Well, that's the key, is like he hit the mother lobe with her. Normally anybody would be on the way, you've got, maybe you could get a few thousand here and there, and that's about it, because who's got that kind of means? So he's lucky enough to find somebody who's grieving, who's rich.
Yeah.
Wow.
And does he even look like Jason Statham? Do we even know that?
I have no idea. I haven't seen any pictures. It's just he was on the site.
And if they're just doing it via like message boards and stuff like that, you can just, here's my picture, and have just a Photoshop of him.
Just grab a picture off of his Instagram.
Yeah, because you're saying you're him, so there's plenty of them out there.
Right. Sorry, honey, you already know what I look like.
Yeah, here's my IMDb. Here's an IMDb shot. Here you go.
I mean, for all we know, this guy looks nothing like him.
Oh, that's a beating.
He probably doesn't.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you got $500 pretending to be him, you think, okay, I scored. Leave well enough alone.
Yeah.
It is amazing that this guy's like
hundreds of thousands of dollars. Oh.
Somebody says, I work at a grocery store as a manager, and you'd be surprised how often we have to put a stop to these kind of transactions. Another person says, a guy at my work has sent over $50,000 to someone on the internet. He sends her Amazon gift cards, which is what I'm saying, man. I don't think it's just a male. It's not male, female. It's stupidity knows no gender.
Is he getting any action?
Maybe a little bit of cyber sex.
Yeah.
Okay.
These catfishing things,
it's
man.
It's the potential. It's like, I might be able to get something. And then if you're just lonely or you're vulnerable like that, you'll want to believe.
Yeah, you need friends, man.
And the person says, damn, lady, at least say meet me in person first. Yeah, if he's Jason Statham. And you got that kind of money, why don't you say, hey, I'll meet you?
Yeah, and I'll pay you the $25,000 when I see you.
Right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I need to feel the Statham touch before I hand this money over.
Definitely. $25,000, you better get to feel a lot more Statham. Wow.
That's got to be an awkward conversation for Statham, though, when his significant other sees this. It's I mean, she's got to know that this isn't legit. But do you think there's a moment of oh crap, what's going on with my man?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, how crazy was that if if his wife goes to the fan page and sees this kind of conversation?
Jeez, yeah, I'm looking at her picture.
Oh,
Good
that's her?
Mm-hmm.
That's the wife.
Yeah, that's not the person who got scammed.
Oh, I was going to say, if that's scam girl, forget about it. Okay. Oh yeah, Statham's wife is a model and an actress. I mean, that makes sense.
And how?
Yeah.
I don't know what movie she's been in, but
she's been in Jason's private movies.
She's definitely Instagram famous.
Okay,
9 million followers.
Whoa, damn.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder what she's worth. Sometimes you wonder, sometimes these models.
Half of Jason.
You think?
Well, I mean, 35 mil she's worth.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, okay. I was thinking of her own money, but okay.
I doubt she's getting anywhere near Jason Statham money.
You say that, okay.
Especially now with all the $25,000 he's being mailed to him by this woman.
All right.
That's a bad scam.
It's a really bad
I know
scam.
Some people, you sound like you feel bad for her, but she's dumb.
Wow. See, I feel bad because she had, 2 deaths.
Yeah, I feel bad about that.
Yeah, and Rev did to make a good point. There are lonely people out there, and, and loneliness does know no gender at that point. People who are lonely and just can't connect, this is the only way they can connect is through a screen, and next thing you know, they're sending this cash.
Somebody says, my roommate's girlfriend, she sold her house and gave $35,000 to a scammer.
Wow.
She has to work at Walmart. She's 65 years old. Not very smart.
Oh, okay. 65. See, I was wondering, that's a young person. Old people, yeah, they always have to check with somebody. And I hope that there's somebody young that's always checking on the old people that have access to the internet, because there's so much scamming going on. You got to be so careful. And I hope the old people have someone taking care of them on that.
I know a guy who sent thousands to a quote-unquote girl who lived in England and was strung along for almost a year, believing that he was going to move halfway across the world to move in with him. I tried for months to warn him it was a scam, and then finally he realized it was.
Hello.
I mean, at no point did people just kind of remove themselves from it and just say, hey, seems a little fishy. If one of my friends was doing this, I would question it.
It's like your buddy who said, you know what, he just didn't see it. And they get mad at the friends and they tell them, dude, come on. You just want to ruin a good thing. Why don't you want me to have a good life?
Right. Like he thought I was jealous.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, man, these are not real people.
Yeah.
I mean, Natasha from freaking wherever in these model pics is not a real person.
Oh, I don't know. I thought Natasha was at least real.
Do you guys get those on your Instagram?
Oh, all the time,
maybe.
Yeah, I always get those like message requests from somebody who's not a friend, so you have to like check it first.
Steve, actually, you go through mine a lot.
And it's like, can we chat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve, how are you?
Or just hi.
I show Steve all my friend requests, and Steve just sees his hysterical. He goes, fake.
You know what, dude? Honestly, we give that's why you probably feel bad for her, because if you weren't married, you probably would fall for one of these.
Probably.
Because there are times where he gets a message from a quote-unquote hot chick on Facebook, and he's like, do you know who this person is? Because that's usually your first question. Like, are we mutual friends with this person? Should I add them as a friend on my Facebook? And I look at it and go, BJ, that's fake.
Yeah.
You're like, how? I'm like, you have no mutual friends.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Or you have one mutual friend, which makes you think that one mutual friend is really weird.
Yeah.
Like, why did you accept this person as a friend? And the way of writing you is always, hi, how are you? Can we chat?
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, she's friendly too.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for listening to the show. You're awesome. Oh, out there in you're in Chad. Okay, well, I'm sure you can pick us up out there in Chad.
You know what happens though? I feel like this happens so often. Just that's why the entire TV show Catfish is a thing. Like, and I watch that show and I'm just like, how are you that? Like,
at some point you got to say, hold on, let me pump the brakes.
But they don't. These people are like 7 years into a relationship, and you're like, what?
Yeah. I know, man.
I guess everyone just wants to feel loved, man.
Yeah, just need a little love in your life.
Even if it's costing you all your money. So that a customer in Linwood, he would send money to Africa because he was promised all these gold bars and be shipped straight cash.
Oh, boy.
He's now homeless in Bremerton because he lost all of his belongings. And he kept sending money. Long story, but that's the gist.
See, now that's a thing where you see somebody who's homeless, and do you feel bad for them?
Well, I mean, I feel bad for anyone who's homeless. But I mean, I'm not going to... I mean, you have to acknowledge that the person was an idiot.
Yeah, and that's...
You still feel bad for an idiot.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I feel bad, but then I don't know if I want to help him. It's like, dude, you had all that cash. I'm not going to help you get back on your feet again because you'll probably blow it all again. I mean, you know, you're kind of stupid and you're going to stay stupid. Luckily for me, I have some checks and balances in my life, so I can't be that stupid.
Oh, one person brought up Bob Poncho. He says, hashtag sexy Lexi. Remember that, Rev? We had a person that was pretending to be hot chick on our podcast.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
For a while. Kept sending these pictures. Nothing nude, but just like, we're like, wow, this is a really hot chick that likes our podcast. Turns out it was a dude who listens. He just thought it would be fun to pretend to be a hot chick.
Oh,
but like that was like the topic of our podcast
for a long time.
We're like, I can't believe we have such a hot chick that listens to this podcast.
Yeah, anytime we would stop down the show essentially when we got like an email or anything. Oh, check this out! Like, and
I mean, Greg, we only sent $5,000-$6,000 to Sexy Lexi.
Yeah,
it wasn't that bad.
Too much. Very affordable. Yeah, you guys didn't go out of your budget.
No, we bought her a TV. I mean, this is many years ago. We were young and dumb.
Oh, Sexy Lexi.
Yeah.
Oh man. So, Rev saw the new Avengers movie. He's already seen it twice. Joey Deese is going to check it out today. Oh. And, I mean, it's definitely, people had a lot to say about it. But this one woman, the new Avengers movie led to her being hospitalized. How so? I'm going to tell you at 8:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. One excited Marvel fan in China cried so hard while watching Avengers Endgame that she started hyperventilating and had to be rushed to the hospital.
Damn.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Wow,
yeah, nice.
She was apparently, a super fan. She was bawling uncontrollably during the end of Avengers and wound up struggling to breathe. She's 21 years old, and she basically hyperventilated herself right to the hospital, had to go to the emergency room. They had to give her oxygen that she was just so distraught over everything.
That seems a little excessive. Mm-hmm. I mean, I get people getting emotional about this movie. I'm not going to be the person that's going to poo-poo somebody's emotions over art. But to the point where you had to go to the hospital?
Yeah.
What's going on in your world?
That's something. My wife is super sensitive, though. And so I wonder, if there are just people out there that are super sensitive, like not many of them, but yeah, it does seem like, okay, really, lady?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's still just a movie.
I saw the movie, and yeah, sure, I can see a reason why someone would want to cry during parts of the movie.
Did you get teary-eyed?
I got a little choked up. I don't think I got teary-eyed. I did get choked up. And like I said, I also didn't go to the bathroom as much as Vicky cried. We weren't sure who was going to go.
She released more liquids out of her body than you.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Hers were tears.
Yes.
Yours weren't.
Yeah, no, I did a good job. I made sure not to have many liquids so that I could sit through almost all of the 3 hours. I almost made it, but...
Yeah, I'm debating on what's going to happen because we're going on Saturday to see it.
Oh, right.
4DX.
4D.
But I'm wondering if I could go. I typically could sit on a plane for a 5-hour flight and not have to use the bathroom.
Yeah, I've noticed that about you.
You'll be fine.
I think I'll be fine. But also though, on a plane, I'm not crushing a tub of popcorn and in turn a soft drink.
That's the thing,
right?
And when you're sleeping, yeah, it's one thing. Yeah, you might
be awake on the planes before I'm not having to go to the bathroom.
Every time,
not often.
Every time you're next to me on a plane, you are always asleep. It's hysterical. I think it's going to be the quietest ride for me because I know you will say nothing anyway when you're awake, and then you're immediately asleep.
I have headphones on, whether I'm awake or not.
Yeah. I wish I had your superpower to fall asleep anywhere.
Oh, me too.
But I mean, are we getting that worked up over a movie that you had to be hospitalized?
Who was that blogger that cried on the blog? Everybody made fun of him. I forget what it was for. Was it for Star? Oh, it was the Star Wars teaser.
The trailer.
But
he cried. I'm not even giving him a hard time about that.
Well,
he didn't have a panic attack or not even a panic attack, but have a crying spell that led her to go into the hospital.
But I didn't cry when I saw the Star Wars trailer either. I mean, it's just a trailer. I could see crying during parts of the Avengers movie because it's 3 hours and there's a lot of stuff that goes on that could bring a tear to your eye, no doubt about it. But
for the first Avengers, the Infinity War, I did get choked up at the trailer. It's that music, man. It just gets you.
Yeah.
That emotional, anthemic music.
Yeah.
But to cry so much, you hyperventilate, and they got to take you to the hospital.
Someone wants to know, is that woman's name Vicky from Marty and Yum? Yes, that's why Vicky's not here again today.
Yeah, she's
quote-unquote sick, but she's been hospitalized because of her emotional reaction to the Avengers.
She just couldn't take it. Yeah.
Poor Vicky.
Yeah.
She couldn't handle it when Spock died.
Poor old Spock died. They put her over the edge.
And then when Han killed him.
Han got killed.
No, Han killed Spock.
Oh, Han killed Spock?
Oh, yeah. Wow.
He shot first.
The director's cut. I don't know if I saw that.
And then his son shanked him.
Oh, so that's what happened. He shot Spock first, and then Han Jr. shanked Han for doing it.
And the only person who saw it was Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis was the only one who saw it because they're all dead people.
Yes.
Okay.
Spoilers.
How about I'm following you, by the way?
I know, right? Yeah, congratulations.
I like that you're tracking my stupidity.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I think I've been working with you too much because I don't want to track your stupidity.
So I'm a 27-year-old man and I wept through the entire third act. Again, I'm not giving anybody a hard time for crying over. I understand there's an emotional connection to certain things. What's the last artistic thing, quote unquote, that made you cry?
Well, I tell you what always makes me cry.
Charlotte's Web.
Charlotte's Web always makes me cry. It's the Luke. It's the death scene. Where Luke's getting his ass kicked in Episode 6 of Star Wars, and then his dad comes to save the day. Because I had a bit of a tumultuous relationship with my dad. Mm-hmm. So to see that, wow, his dad actually came through, which kind of paralleled my real life because my dad didn't go to my wedding because he didn't approve, but then he came through and helped us get a home.
Well, in all fairness, he wasn't able to make it because the Death Star couldn't get there in time.
Yeah, the Death Star couldn't get there, so Vader couldn't get there. But that scene where the Emperor is frying Luke and saying, "Well, so much Jedi. Guess what? You're gonna get no help here." And then finally, Vader's like, "Okay, I mean, I killed a bunch of little kids. I'm really a big douche of the universe, but am I going to let my own kid fry? Am I going to be that guy?" And he finally said no.
Rev, do you remember the last movie or some whatever form of art that led you to weeping?
Weeping? Well,
or just teary-eyed. I understand this.
With Endgame, absolutely. I did cry. Yes, I cried a lot on this one.
Oh boy!
The most recent though was watching fan reactions from the last Game of Thrones episodes. I was showing this to BJ and Joey, and it was people watching the climactic scene for Game of Thrones in a bar, and it was...
In a bar?
Yeah. They're doing a viewing party at a bar, so there's a bunch of hammered people, utterly silent, and
it's
then
a big deal.
This huge scene happens, and these people are cheering, and then another thing happens, and people just stop, and then they gasp, and it totally got me, and I literally was just like tears rolling down my face from it.
If I walked into a bar and they're watching Game of Thrones, I'm turning around and going to the bar next door. Yep. That doesn't sound like fun, going to a bar to watch a television show. Watching sports I get because you don't need to pay attention to the dialogue. But going to a bar to watch Game of Thrones, it seems weird.
People didn't say a word. Like, it was utterly silent in there until the stuff went down, and then people were cheering or crying, and there were, like, people actually in that openly weeping as well.
Yeah, it is. I am with you, Steve. It is weird, but I know people do have viewing parties where they all want to get together, and the bar seems like a great place.
I guess.
You've got catered food, catered beverage, and as long as everybody shuts up.
But that's the thing. You're risking it.
You're right. It's like if you have to know that everybody in the bar is there for the same reason, which it looked like, at least where these people were, it was.
Some people are saying these videos, Rev, that you're talking about are fake.
Are they? Oh, that sucks.
You cried over a fake video, Rev.
Cried over a fake video.
That's right. That actually is the answer for mine. The last time I started tearing up was WrestleMania, when I watched it back the next day, and I finally got, because I didn't get to watch all of WrestleMania live, and I watched it back, and I watched the Kofi Kingston match where he won the championship.
Oh, yeah.
And I've just been a fan of Kofi's for a while, and I also know there's a lot of underlying story arcs to it, like both like realistic stuff, like feeling like he's been held back to stuff for the story, and he's been around for a while, and just I don't know why, man. It's such a good match, and seeing him and when his kids got in the ring, that's when it got me.
Oh, boy.
Because his kids are celebrating. One of his kids on the second turnbuckle, like throwing T-shirts into the crowd, and I'm just like, and Kofi's just a good dude. You've met him.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Well, frankly, everybody we meet from the WWE.
One of my favorites, though.
Yeah.
He's always been great. Yeah. And I remember like when we went to a house show once, and he spotted me, and he like pointed me out to Big E, and I was like, what the hell is going on? This doesn't seem real. But he's like that kind of a guy that remembers people. So when that happened, I got really worked up.
Oh, boy.
And I cried over a fake sport.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you cried over.
I can't give Rev a hard time. He cried over a fake video.
Should we ask Danny really to make it a little bit more challenging the last time he didn't cry at something?
Wow.
Should I say that? No.
I think it was when he just heard the new Sum 41 record. It brought him to tears.
I did, actually. No, for me, the movie The Dirt, when it was the scene with the little girl. I bawled at that scene.
Vince Neil daughter scene.
Yes.
Yeah,
oh, my gosh.
That is a tough scene.
That was the last
Especially
movie.
with a daughter.
Yeah, especially with it. I mean, it was just like, there was a lot of stuff that I was like, wow, like, I can't even imagine going through anything like that. And tears just started coming.
No matter what you think of Vince Neil, and a lot of people had opinions of Vince Neil, you watch that movie, you see that scene, because I didn't follow Motley Crue. I had no idea he had that kind of tragedy in his life, losing a daughter. And how do you not, like, all of a sudden have a completely different viewpoint of Vince Neil?
Oh, my gosh.
Because any of us, hopefully none of us has gone through what he had to go through.
Yeah. So this is Miley Cyrus saying, doing Say Hello to Heaven at the Chris Cornell tribute. You guys played 30 seconds of it. I almost cried like a baby. That actually brought you to tears.
Yeah, it did.
Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a great. That was amazing. Yeah.
Who didn't cry like a baby when Negan? Oh, spoiler alert! If you haven't watched The Walking Dead, I don't know when this happened.
No, this happened a while ago.
Negan killed Glenn and Abraham on The Walking Dead.
Yeah, that was a couple years ago. That should be. It was tough. Because Glenn was a really beloved character who had been with us since episode 1, right, Rev? Pretty much. I think Glenn was with us since episode 1 of The Walking Dead.
I don't know if it was episode
1 or 2,
but it was very, very early on. He was one of the OG guys. Yeah,
his voice was in the first episode.
Yeah,
remember?
that's right, because it was over the walkie-talkie. Yeah.
I watched that one the other day, so that's why I know.
Oh, so there you go. So is it episode 2? We finally see his face. Is that it? Yeah. So OG and oh man, yeah. Though I will tell you, you know what? Thank you for bringing that up, Steve. I've had some emotional scenes actually recently, one of the last episodes of The Walking Dead, because that same a-hole guy actually rescued the daughter of his biggest nemesis, and he didn't have to, but he's developed, and it was a father-daughter thing, even though he's not her father. That also brought a tear to my eye. So talk about redemption for a big a-hole type of evil guy. He ends up saving the little girl of basically the good guy that he was the nemesis of. And that actually brought a tear to my eye when it was like, wow, he's actually going to go out and save her. So, this is why we love these shows. They are making us cry is the problem.
Create emotional connections. I mean, when you do that, you've got something successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that is why the shows like The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones and movies like The Avengers.
Wrestling.
And wrestling, yeah. Yeah, that's why they do it.
So he says when the Hawks won the NFC Championship to go to the Super Bowl against the Broncos, had me in absolute tears. Yes. That was the game against the 49ers.
Yeah.
And I remember just like, I remember my wife being like, are you tearing up? I'm like, yes. And I look around, I was like kind of feeling embarrassed. And I look around, and all the dudes around me are all bawling. Yeah. And that just made me even tear up more. It's like that. It's kind of like the domino effect.
Yeah, that was a sporting event that made me tear up. Of course, when the Red Sox first won the World Series in a skillion years back in 2004, I cried at that because that was very, very emotional because they had been down 3-0 to the Yankees, and it looked like it was going to be a repeat of the year before. And that was big.
So it says, Migs, I'm just like you. I'll tear up at any movie where the character has to go through a struggle and overcomes that obstacle. Yeah, any story of human triumph, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of them out there.
For those.
There's a lot of them out there, man.
Including Kofi Kingston winning the WWE Championship.
Yeah. And like you said, he's a good dude.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. I think he's from from
Boston,
Massachusetts. That's what I thought. Yeah, Kofi. Well, yeah. All right, now I'm going to start getting a little teary-eyed.
Because he's from Boston?
Boy. Yeah,
geez.
I'd love to see a Boston boy do good. All right, yesterday, Steve, he did get this one right, but unfortunately, he took too many guesses.
For how many seasons did Kobe Bryant play professional basketball?
Damn. I'm going to say 24.
No.
Oh, nice number.
18.
No.
19.
No.
Yep.
Yeah. Too late.
Why did I just say 20? That's so stupid, Steve.
Yeah, finally, I agree with you. I don't usually agree with what you say on the show, but I agree with you on that one.
I'm going to yell at myself.
Yeah, you really did. That was so awesome. Just like to see you.
Very abusive to myself.
You really were.
You really are.
You know what? It was very Catholic of you. You knew you needed to be punished, and you did it. You want a shot at beating Steve? Well, he'll beat himself if you don't beat him. 206, what? 206-421-ROCK. That's the number to call. You want to beat Steve. We're playing Beat Migs at 8:47 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. Here's another question from a listener. I'm getting my wages garnished. Can bankruptcy help with that?
Absolutely. One of the big reasons people file bankruptcy is because they have a judgment or a lawsuit against them, or their wages are getting garnished, and so they can't pay their other regular ongoing bills. People sometimes think that you can't file bankruptcy once they have a judgment against them or once a garnishment has started, and that's not true. Filing bankruptcy will immediately stop any garnishment that you have going, except for child support, and stop your creditors from continuing on with garnishments of your bank account, your wages, and in most cases will discharge that liability through the bankruptcy process. And we can file a bankruptcy case for you usually the day you come in.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.